There's a dance hall there where the sick folks go, like the olden days on the Barbary coast. There's a barefoot child, she's playing in the rain. You can sell your wares, even if they're hot, in the great bazaar or the parking lot, 'cause it takes a while to know who to blame. I might have a taste, 'cause the first one's free, and the checkout girl, she's got a thing for me, and they're both as sweet as the day is long. I don't wanna feel stuck, baby. I just wanna get drunk before noon. I don't mind my head when there's room to dream. Feel like Paul Gauguin painting breadfruit trees in some far off place where I don't belong. Try to lose myself in the primitive, in Yosemite, like John Muir did, but his eyes were blue. Mine are red and raw. Oh, the modern world, it's a sight to see. It's a stimulant, it's pornography. It takes all my will now not to turn it off. Don't want you to feel sad, baby. I take everything back, I swear I do. Once all the friends I had have used me up and left, I bet you hang around, I bet you hang around a while. Thanks so much. All right. All right, this one is about a bar that's not that far away from here. I used to live here for a long time, and I used to basically live at this bar called St. Dimphna's. You guys ever been there? On St. Mark's Street? Anyway, it's for my friend Raquel. She's here, right? She's right over there. She now she owns the place. Now she owns like the whole East Village basically. But at the time she was just a waitress, and I was kind of in love with her. And she used to give me soup when I looked hungry, and give me like hugs and kisses with every beer I ordered. So as you imagine, I was there all the time. This one's for her. Well, rise and shine, get out of bed, get ready for the day. Get a coffee from the deli, walk the riverbank. Be careful with your headphones on when you cross the FDR. You don't wanna be a casualty before you make it to the bar. And hide your shakes, your worried face, just sit down in the back. All your friends got here ahead of you, and night is falling fast. Oh, you don't wanna say so, you're thinking it out loud. Some things we lost are never to be found. But if you're gonna talk like that, at least buy another round. We can keep drinking till St. Dimphna kicks aside. This world is made of blinking lights, and they're changing all the time. But depending who you've been talking to, well, they're likely to be fine. And I watched you go from bad to worse. The blues is here to stay. But sometimes it's the simple things that can make it all okay. You don't have to lie, say you're alright, we're just happy that you're here. But if you'd yell and tell me to go to hell, well, at least it sounds sincere. Oh, you know it's all a spectacle when you go to take a bow. And it always did get nervous in the crowd. But if you need some company, well, I'd gladly stick around. We can keep drinking till St. Dimphna kicks aside. It's getting able, great minds that think alike. I never was a good judge of when to call it a night. Oh, you don't wanna say so, you're thinking it out loud. Well, some things go south and they never turn around. But if you want a confidant, I'd never let you down. We can keep drinking till St. Dimphna kicks us out. Yeah, we can keep drinking till St. Dimphna kicks us out. Thank you.
there's like a dozen of you standing over there, and there's like a dozen seats over here if you want to work that out, but it's up to you. Thanks for playing those songs, guys. It was really beautiful. You can give them a round of applause. This is how Conor and I decided we'd talk to each other.
Yeah, we always it's always over a piano.
We always speak over pianos. Hey, thanks for coming.
Thank you, Sean. Thanks for having
Really
us.
special. I have your album here. Salutations.
Yes.
Anyone heard it? It's really great. I feel like this is how I want to spend this summer, is face down in a pool. Like avoiding New York Times push notifications.
The backside's like that's the nice part of it. It doesn't end bad.
So does this work out?
Yeah, it's like the front's like a to be continued, and then that's, yeah.
So
I come back to life in the end.
For those of you who can't see, I think this is like band members, producer, drummer.
Well, yeah, so that's Jim Keltner, the guy on the phone. He's calling the paramedics, but yeah, if you guys know who he is, he's like one of the greatest drummers ever to live. Like played with all your faves, the Lennon, yeah, all of them.
Neil.
Yeah, you should look him up. He's crazy, but yeah, he co-produced the record with me, and I kind of met him by chance, but he really has become like one of my best friends, and yeah, I would like when I was writing all the songs, I would just like send it to him, like text him the like little iPhone demos, and at first I just wanted him to play drums because he plays drums on everybody's records.
And he's like a great drummer at 73. He sounds amazing.
Amazing drummer for any age, but yeah, he is in his 70s, but he's insane, and then all of a sudden I just felt like he was so invested in like the whole thing, and I think he's probably done it a few times, but I just asked him like, hey, do you want to actually, produce this with me? And he was fully in, and he ended up working, I feel like, way harder on it than I did even. I was like, see you later, Jim. I'm going to lunch. He was like in the control room, like cared about everything. I was like, it's fine. It's accordion. Sounds good. Don't worry about it so much.
At that point, is he picking the track list or something, or did you show up for that part at least?
We got together on the sequence. No, he was just, he was the total like leader of the whole situation, and so it's basically he's playing drums, and then the rest, well, there's some other guests like singing and stuff like that, but the other main bulk of the musicians is, well, Greg and James's main gig is called the Felice Brothers. You guys know the Felice Brothers? Yeah. So they're from upstate New York, and I've been friends with them for like a decade, and they're like, all jokes aside, they're like truly my favorite band. So I've toured with them, and they back me up, and I've always been like, well, we got to make a record eventually, and so my plan was to make a record with them, and then they were weirdly like in between drummers, and that's when I met Jim, and it kind of all stars aligned, as they say, and it was amazing. But yeah, he definitely was like our kind of like captain. So like when Jim said it was like done, it was done, or else we just kept playing. So yeah.
And is that why? I mean, so Ruminations, the album that came before this, that was released last year, was supposed to be like the demos of this album. Is that why there are more songs on this? Is that why they're in a different sequence?
Exactly. So yeah, I just made the demos at my studio in Nebraska in the winter, like just over a couple days, and then sent them to the Felices, and then eventually, sent them to Jim, and then we, a few months later, went to California and started making that record, which was like the kind of intended record. And it took a little longer than I thought it was going to take. And this guy, David Byler, who's like on the label we're on, it's called None Such in New York. They're a great, amazing label. And he just called me up and was like, let's gonna sound like a weird idea, but what do you think about putting out like the recordings from Omaha first, and then we'll put out the other stuff next year? And I was like, you so very rarely get like a good idea from a record label ever. And like so like thoughtful and like weird and like obviously not gonna reap him like tons of financial benefits. I was like, but he thought it would. I don't know. He kind of, he, I don't want to say fell in love, but he grew an affinity for the demo recordings, and he thought it would be cool to have those come out first and then have people experience the band versions later. But I mean, it was only a few months in between, so I feel like,
Did you have to talk you into it, or are you on board?
I mean, I did. It struck me as a little strange at first, but like I said, it was so kind of, I don't know. It's just especially this day and age, it's like unusual that people want to do something sort of like that. I love doing stuff that like makes no sense, like commercially or like it's like not good branding,
Like this.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, this is great. It's terrible for my brand.
Yeah.
I'm
like public radio. You ought to affiliate.
Yeah,
with that.
I mean, I do love Thelonious Monk though.
Yeah.
So,
I thought I did that. I was like, what's happening? We awakened the beast. I read that your longtime collaborator, Mike Mogus, heard those. I mean, he was there recording those demos with you?
Yeah.
You guys like share a house?
Yeah, we have like our house is sort of like mine faces this street and his faces that way. And then there's like a guest house studio in between where a lot of bands come and record with him because he basically, we have our band, but he mostly is like a producer for his career.
So needless to say, the dude knows you pretty well.
Very well.
But I read in this Vulture profile of you that he was sort of scared because, I mean, these are really raw recordings. You're saying some pretty dark stuff at times. And I guess he told a reporter that he was kind of worried about you while you guys were recording these demos. How did you manage to scare like one of your closest friends? It's not like you could say something that he didn't know about you, is it? Or maybe it is.
I mean, I don't know, man. It's, yeah. Yeah, it's been a long time. It's been a long lifetime. It's been a long few years. But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, to me, it's like music is always, of course, it's like about self-expression, and I'm always quick to point out to like when people are asking, like, because it's like a favorite sort of music journalist question, like how autobiographical, like when did this happen to you, like da-da-da.
This is my roundabout way of asking that question.
Yeah, but I was just like, but I mean, well, it's like, and I understand it. I mean, as like a fan of other people's music, like, yeah, it is interesting, like, oh, what happened in their lives that made them do this or that. But I'm always quick to point out that, like, yes, if I wanted to like write a memoir or like an autobiography, like I would do that. If my point was to like express my actual reality, like to a T, that would be a different, that'd be a different process and a different craft than like writing songs. Songs they're more mysterious and they're more, composite sketches of, I don't know. I feel like I go through life and like pick up little pieces of observations or little things that like stick in my mind, and then kind of like I still don't understand exactly how it happens, which is I'm happy about, because I feel like if I fully understood it, it would be like dead to me, but like it's the fact that like all that stuff goes into like the back, some weird part of my mind, blends up, and then these like songs come out, and of course they have, a big part of it is my life and my life experience, but it's certainly like that's not the goal. To like, the idea of like confessional songwriting, I think is like, I mean, maybe some people do it. I've never done it. I think it's more about finding something universal that people can, whoever you are, kind of. My favorite art is the things that make you more comfortable with the human condition, which is like, as we all know, is like mostly painful, sometimes joyful, but like kind of sucks most of the time. And so I think like when you when you see something or you listen to something that can express that, I don't know, just make you feel like less alone in the fact that like we're walking around this earth with like no point to anything. I don't know. That's pretty.
Thanks for coming, folks. That's the show. No. You recorded those songs on Ruminations in 2 days. Fact. Yeah. Sounds amazing.
Thank you.
You're pretty talented, turns out. You didn't write them in 2 days?
No, they were written.
What's your clip? I feel when I listened to you when I was 16, I was like, this guy must write like 8 songs a day. Have you slowed down?
When I was younger, I wrote a lot of songs all the time. I feel like now it's not as many songs. Kind of comes in waves. Like I feel like I get in a state of mind where I'm like I just don't even pick up my guitar or sit at the piano. I just don't think about the stuff anymore for like a while. Like sometimes like a couple months, and then usually like once I start, if I write one song, it ends up probably within the span of a month being like 6 songs. You know what I mean? Like it's they usually are kind of they come together in blocks. But yeah, and I think, and this is like not unique to me at all, because like pretty much all my songwriter friends say the same thing, which is like when you write a batch of songs, or like finish a record or whatever, like your immediate fear is like, I'll never write a song again. Like just no way it's gonna happen. I think that's like kind of very common experience for writers. But yeah, it's like, and you can't force it, because anytime you try to force it, it's like it turns out terrible. Like if someone, like I've had times where it's been like, you know, manager calls or whatever, and it's like, so-and-so's got this movie and this is the concept and they want a song, and it's like they need it in like, you know, a month. Can you write a song? And I'll like try sometimes, and it's like always disaster. It's like homework. It's like, who wants to do homework? That's why I dropped out of college, man. I don't do homework. So yeah, you just kind of like, for me, it's like the waiting game of. It's more creating a space, like both like a mental space and a physical space where I'm sort of free to like daydream and like let my mind wander, and like, you know, just, I don't know, just basically be like free, where it's like there's not like laundry lists and like itemized things in my head, and I can like let my mind go to that place where like the songs are. That's the challenge. I mean, the older I get and like the more sort of like obligations I have in the world, like that is the hard part, to find those times. Because when I was younger, I had nothing going on. That's all I did. So wrote a lot more songs. But
what changed? Like, you're married now?
Yeah, I mean, getting married, obviously getting like, I mean, what am I, 53 now, I think? I have a birthday coming up. I'll be 53. So yeah, once you get into your 50s, man, that's just stuff changes.
One of the most surprising things between the 2 albums for me is obviously the collaborative process changed the songs dramatically, but there was like this lyrical change, like one of the darkest lines on the album became much brighter. Do you want to say what the line is, or should I? I got it here, but
you can say it, and I can tell you the story.
Yeah, go for it. So the line on Ruminations is a song counting sheep, which I guess the second verse is about 2 kids dying, but maybe the whole song's about it. Hope it was slow, hope it was painful. You said about the 2 kids, and then on Salutations you say, hope it was quick, hope it was peaceful. Like a real 180 there.
Keltner.
Oh yeah, 73-year-old drummer, like just not into the dark stuff.
No. He literally called. I mean, he called me. I sent him that song. He's like, he's so rad. He's like, oh, I love you, Conor. I mean, this is just the most beautiful song. Like he loved the song. he's just like, I don't get it. Why would you say that? And I'm like, Jim, like, well, this is like, it's not like, I don't want like children to die, obviously. I'm saying these are the things that like, it's about someone trying to fall asleep and like the most, I don't know if you guys have this, but like the most horrible possible thoughts that like run through your head when you can't sleep. The worst stuff, like, my
kids
head
dying.
My head is so, like, I don't know. It's not a fun place at all. And so, yeah, I was like, well, Jim, that's like what I would, that's like obsessive, compulsive kind of things I obsess over when I can't sleep. He's like, I know, but it's just like, I don't know, it just makes me sad. And the song is just like such a great song. And so I changed it for him. I was like, all right, I'll like, I mean, the essence is still there, but I was like, it's like soften the blow a little bit. But yeah, I was all for Jim.
Would it take a producer or a collaborator like of that stature to make you change your lyrics, or is this something you've considered before or done before?
No, I mean, it was just like I really love that guy so much, and I was like, if this is gonna bum Jim out, like I'll just change it. It's not like that big a deal to me. You
got fewer lyrics now. It seems like things have changed.
What's that?
You seem to have just your songs are a little less verbose over time.
I used to cram it all in.
Yeah. And now that you're playing shows where you like incorporate all your material, how do you remember this stuff? I don't see you out there with the lyric sheets.
I don't. Someday I'll get rich enough where I can have the teleprompters that look like monitors.
You get like the Bono teleprompter.
I've played shows with people who will go unnamed, but that's the vibe. No, it's funny because I kind of feel like I have a pretty not good memory in a lot of ways, but for some reason I've always been able to memorize song lyrics, like mine and other people. I just, whatever reason, words, like if words in a song like stay in my head, so that is good. But yeah, I don't know, I still need to like, definitely like if we're learning an old song that I haven't played in like several years, practicing with the band, I'll be like, okay, like truly like just go to the internet and like print it up.
azlyrics.com.
But it's so many times it's like so wrong. And like, are you serious? Like somebody thought I wrote that? Like, I wish I could think of a good example right now, but like just like the dumbest line. I'm like, really? Like, I mean, there's like no editing to that stuff. It's like
the internet.
In all our lyrics, my whole life, we always printed them in the booklets. It's like, just go to the booklet. If you want to contribute to the lyric site of like whatever, you just gotta go to the booklet, take the actual lyrics, and put them on the website. It doesn't seem that hard, but instead people just guess. They're like, I don't know what he said. I think it's this, And yeah, so I feel, and it's weird because if someone else is looking them up to check it out or like cover the song, like they think those are the actual lyrics, but it's just some dipshit in New Jersey that like misheard it.
Do you guys remember one of the funny ones? I'd love to hear one of the funny ones. Nothing. No. But you think you've ever missed one and sung the wrong lyrics?
I mean, I'm sure I've.
We have lyrics to Let's Not Shit Ourselves and read them.
I read them?
You didn't remember them and stopped and looked at the paper. Pennsylvania.
It's crazy. It's crazy what people. Well, yeah, but I just mean like what people think he said is crazy. My stuff's like way tighter than that. Would you ever think I wrote that? But that's the way it is.
I looked at all of your songs like in one scroll on Spotify this weekend, and the thing you notice is that like the song names also just got way simpler. Right?
Yeah.
They became like the refrain.
Exactly.
Eventually.
Yeah. No,
there's fewer commas.
Yeah. That's very true.
Was it just unsustainable, or did your songwriting style evolve? I mean, obviously
like,
your songwriting evolved.
I kind of started doing that stuff like when I was so young, and I thought it was cool at the time, of course. But as time went on, I was like, this is just annoying. Like, I have a problem where I like annoy myself a lot. Like, being on tour with the Fleece Brothers actually has like taught me this, because they're like actually all like, I don't know, they're all amazing people, and they're all like, they have like, they go on bike rides, and like they like Greg like I'm not kidding you, like whittles spoons out of wood in the parking lot of the venue, and I'm just like, I'm so like, I don't know, I'm so juvenile. All I can do is like walk into a room and like start making like stupid jokes, like immediately, and they're like all like reading books, like look up at me just so bummed, and I'm like, I realize that like I actually like annoy myself a lot, and so I'm trying to be less annoying to other people, and that's part of the reason I stopped giving songs like 12-word titles, because I was like, this is annoying. He wants like, yes, this I am, yes, this sucks. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm 53 now, so things have changed. You get into your 50s, Sean, I'm telling you. When you get into your 50s, you'll know what I mean.
You look great.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
So you've been making music for like 600 years then, right? When you like tour with slightly younger musicians like these guys, do they look at you as some sort of like elder statesman now?
I mean,
or is that why you roped in a 73-year-old?
Yeah, exactly. Now I'm just median age of our situation. No, I mean, it definitely having like, I remember like when I started, you know, whatever, putting out records and like people like writing about my band and stuff like that. It was like a first sentence to everything was like, he's so young and da da da. And it's so
Dylan.
It's so funny. It's so funny that like how it's like, he's so young, he's so young, he's so young, and then like one day it's like, he's like over the hill. Like it's just like immediately like I had no middle age. It was like, oh my god, he's just changed. He's just old, just dad rock, just like I'm like, really, dude? Like okay. Like, yeah, it's interesting people's perception. But I will say, like, we do tour with a lot of bands that are quite a bit younger than me, and they're awesome. And it is cool because I always had people in my life that were older than me that kind of encouraged me, and like, you know, I'm friends with Michael Stipe. Not to drop names, but you know, like Michael's always been one of those people in my life that is like, I don't know. I met him when I was like 20 years old, and he's always been like so sweet and encouraging. And whenever anything was like crazy was happening in my life, it was like a person I could like talk to that obviously had been down the road way farther, a million times crazier than anything I was experiencing, and would just like talk to you and like be your friend and like be cool and kind and give you some advice, you know. He's like, he's the best. But like, I don't know. So anytime I can like talk to like a younger musician that's trying to figure something out and like give them my 2 cents, like I feel like that's it's a great thing to be able to do. If you've been there, you can at least, not that I know what the right decision is, but I can at least like give them my opinion and say like, hey, I was in a similar thing once, and this is what I would recommend, And that's cool. That goes a long way, I think.
Speaking of like Michael Stipe and that level that you're saying you never quite got to. I mean, when I heard Four Winds for the first time, I felt like it's about to happen. This is it. This is when it happens. Casadega. Do you think it happened, or was there ever like a plan for that to happen? Did you care? The great thing about your music is that it feels like there's like no plan to this. It's just like a guy doing exactly what he feels like doing.
I mean, I'm gonna drop another name here.
Do it.
There it is. No, my other really good old friend is Jim James, My Morning Jacket, Jim James, and we always have this like ongoing joke of like every time you make a record, it's like, well, maybe not so much anymore because now we're in our 50s, so like no one really cares, but like forever it was like, oh, every time you finish a record, like the management and the label, everyone's like, this is the one. This is, oh absolutely, it's gonna change everything. And of course it doesn't. Like you're pretty much playing the same spots. You're pretty much doing the same thing, you know. And I don't know. I guess there's been points in my life where that was frustrating to me in some way, but it's also like, I don't know. I also feel bad. I've had friends that have had bands that have kind of like blown up overnight, and then like 2 years later, like literally no one cares about it, and that's way worse. You know what I mean? So it's like, at this point, I feel like just like longevity and just like doing what I do and like having kind of like freedom to like make whatever music I want and like play a show or not play a show or do a thing or not do a thing. It's like I can kind of like choose my own adventure all the time, which I feel like some people get like so locked into some kind of money-making machine where they don't have that freedom, and that would be, I don't think I couldn't really deal with that. I mean, I think I've definitely like blown opportunities out of like just my own like, I don't know, my own ego or something, or my own like, that sounds stupid to me. But if I would have done it, maybe I'd be more famous. But I do like, I'm basically like Thelonious Monk at this point. NPR, you guys love that shit, right?
Speaking of assholes, Trump.
Speaking of assholes, like you were
that guy is the worst. No, you know.
I thought you were gonna call me an asshole.
No, not you. No.
Dude, I'm 25 years older than you, man.
I had some transition planned for this question, but I'm just gonna break right into it. You know, so an amazing thing you did was like the first time you played Leno. Speaking of maybe not blowing an opportunity, but maybe doing something unexpected, certainly, and something that Jay Leno probably didn't care for. I don't know. Maybe you can tell me.
He was actually supportive. But
he was.
Yeah, it was weird.
You played on your like whatever major television debut, whatever you played When the President Talks to God, and this was 2005.
Yeah, we had like the big record, you know, like Wide Awake was like popping off, and it was like come play the, you know, whatever first day, or they wanted like Be Normal, and I had just written that song. It was like not on any record. And I told Chloe, our publicist, I was like, Chloe, this is the song I want to play. And I sent it to her, and she's like, okay. I'll send it to them. She did. And, like, of course, went up the ladder. Said no, like, 10 times. And then we're like, well, you know. Anyway, got to, like, I wish I knew the woman's name who was, like, the head producer, because she's actually... Her and Jay were the ones that like let me do it, but they finally were like, "Are you serious? Okay, you can do it." And I was like, "Okay, let's go." Got there that day. I was like, you know, I don't know. I was like wearing my little like hoodie or something, and I was like, played the song. Super scared. Called my mom. I was like, "Mom, I don't maybe this is like a bad idea. She kind of encouraged me. But then at like the last minute, I was like, this is just like not, I need something else, like some kind of superpower to like actually do this. So my tour manager at the time, I was like, yo, Billy, like we got like, any way you can get me like a cowboy suit? And like, luckily it was in Los Angeles. And he's like, absolutely. 20 minutes later, rhinestones, decked out, cowboy hat, bam. And I was
Can we
like,
get an image of that? For the...
And I was like, well, my theory was like, okay, I'm going to be singing this like, you know, whatever, communist, whatever song. And like, it'd be great for like some guy in Georgia or wherever to be like, you know, sitting in his lazy boy, like watching me, like, talking to his wife and be like, oh, this guy looks all right. Let's turn it, honey, let's turn this up. See what this guy's singing about. This guy, I like this guy. And then, so yeah, that's kind of how it went down.
Don't you feel like saying that this president talked to God would be like a compliment? Like that's how bad things have gotten? Like that was a protest then, and now it'd be like, something that he talks to God.
Well, no, I mean, that is what's amazing to me about the Trump situation is just, he has made me nostalgic for George W.
Which is
like
real
he's
sad.
made me think of how great of like a guy and a painter that George W. is. My God, he's an awesome painter. I mean, he doesn't like rape people and like grab pussies like indiscriminately. He just paints stupid pictures of dogs. He's like a way better guy. The bar is fucking low, I guess is what I'm saying. Sorry, you're gonna have to bleep this out. I know.
Do you find like people look? We got the image.
I know.
Thanks, guys.
Well, it's your boy.
Thanks, Getty. What did Eubanks think of that? Was he into it? Kevin.
They were so nice, and I gotta say, man, Jay was so cool. Like he came in because it was kind of like it was obviously like a little thing in the office. Like, are they gonna do this? Are they gonna do this? And he like came into the dressing room before the show and just kind of was like, so glad you're doing this, and we need more of this. And like told me this story about how I guess he used to tour with these comedians like during like Vietnam, and they would have to only like do like the comedy clubs like in Canada because like there's that. So he was actually pumped, man. I was like, yeah, he was fully on board. So I mean, obviously that's the only way that kind of thing happens. Yeah.
Do you feel people looking at you now, hoping to hear something like that again, hoping for like a double album from Desaparecidos? What and like how do you deal with that? Like, oh, he's the political artist.
The Trump thing is like, this is what I've been trying to tell people because they're like, will you write more about that stuff? And of course, like if it happens, obviously I'm not gonna like censor myself or anything like that, obviously. But like, he's a hard person to write or like. You know, it's like satire is, you know, it's the prerequisite for satire is that you show a more extreme example of the reality. And it's not even possible with this guy. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, he said he could kill someone on Fifth Avenue and nothing would happen to him.
And
he said he would like grab a woman's private parts and like it would be great. He's like a complete charlatan. He's trying to recreate a Russian oligarchy family in America. He's been a piece of shit in this city for 30 plus years, making a joke of everything, and now he gets to make a joke of the whole world. He calls himself a businessman. His daddy gave him $7 million when he was like 25. Like I would be a great businessman. If my dad gave me $7 million, I would be an awesome businessman. You know, he's racist, homophobic, sexist, xenophobic piece of fucking shit. I don't know what else to say about the guy. So I don't know where to go. Like I can't
I'm just gonna take
the
that.
lyrics aren't coming out the way they used to.
There's like a lot of people streaming this. I'm just gonna ask you folks on the internet to put that on a beat, and we'll have it.
Yeah, man. I don't give a fuck. They can.
Despercidos, this entirely conceptual, like political band.
By the way,
yeah,
Joe Arpaio,
uh-huh,
the maniac, terrible sheriff from Arizona, who we had a song about 6 years ago, just got convicted today. Criminal contempt in court. Turns out you can't just like round up like Mexican families in Phoenix. Like, you thought that was gonna like work out, like to go like raid people's houses at night and like drag people from their fucking beds and it'd be all cool. Him and Steven Seagal. Turns out you can't do that in America, at least for now. Thank God.
Would you agree that that's like the most conceptual thing you've done musically? That band?
Yeah.
It seems like sort of high concept, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
It's like I mean the first record we did when we were like kids, when I was like 21, and it was more just like we're a punk band and we just made a record basically about our hometown, and then we didn't make a record for like 13 years. And the last one was definitely like high concept. I was like, oh, what if there was still like political punk in the world? Like, what would it sound like, and what would the artwork be like? And yeah, it's definitely like kind of high concept and kind of, I don't know, it's a bit like cartoonish in its way, but I don't know. I think it kind of still rips. Like the record, it sounds good.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I think some people here would too. Do you have other like high concept things that you want to do? I hear you maybe wrote a screenplay once.
I did write a screenplay once.
What was it about?
No, well, we were trying to do a second record with like Monsters of Folk, and the kind of joke with that was like, well, if you already have a super group, like just a second record isn't good enough, you know. So I was like, full-length feature film, obviously.
And everyone was on board.
And I wrote the script, and amazingly, everyone in the band was on board, which that takes a lot in itself. And then like there was a minute where like there was some people that were maybe like directors and money and stuff, but of course like also like it's like a dystopian future, like it would cost like $100 million to so shocking they didn't want to give us the money to do it, but you know, you never know. Stranger things, you know.
Yeah, sure. Something that I managed to miss that I found out this weekend just reading stuff was that you auditioned for the title role in Inside Llewyn Davis.
I did. I think, I mean, amongst many other musicians, I think they were casting a pretty wide net with musicians and actors. But yeah, that was one of the more nerve-wracking things in my life.
What was it like? What'd you do?
I went up to like this spot, like, I don't know, it wasn't that far from here. Like I guess the Coen Brothers office or whatever, but they weren't there, but the casting director, and they have the camera, and I had the little script, or like the 5 pages of script for like a while, and I asked my acting buddy to like kind of help me practice. But yeah, I'm sure it was terrible, and I got in there, I was just like so nervous, and yeah, they made the right decision, but I did play they did this concert at Town Hall, which was really fun, and like the soundtrack and stuff, and Oscar Isaac I met there, and he's like, we're still friends, he's so amazing. And
I saw some videos, he's got a voice too. I mean, he can play live, he can.
Well, he told me that was I met him that night, and it was kind of like, there's a lot of people, I mean, there's all kinds of people there, It's like Joan Baez and Gillian Welch and the Mumfords and the Abbott It was like just like it was actually kind of like a weird Americana like apocalypse, like in the basement of town hall. It's like everyone was like tuning banjos and like bang, 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 and I was just like sitting in the corner. It's like rain dripping. I was like, where am I? John Candy was there, or not John Candy, sorry, John Goodman was there. The ghost of John Candy was there too. But no, it was a pretty crazy situation. But I met him that night, and he's amazing. And he told me that he used to sing. I guess he played like open mics or something, like in Miami, and he used to sing Bright Eyes songs. Told me that. So that's when I was like, I love this guy. This guy's
We're
great.
gonna be friends.
We're gonna be friends. No, he's amazing around, and this whole like the Hamlet thing he's doing now, it's crazy. Yeah.
Star Wars.
Hamlet.
Did you go see him? Did you go see the Star Wars to support your boy?
And I saw Star Wars. I wanted to go. I might still catch the Hamlet thing. I heard it was 4 hours, which just sounds daunting, but.
If the movie star thing ever does happen, you got a house in L.A.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Thank you. You also got the house in Omaha.
Yep.
You left New York.
Yep.
Why?
Price me out, man.
Really?
Price me out.
They didn't price you out. We're all screwed.
They priced me out, man.
Right?
They don't want folk singers in the East Village anymore. They're like,
is that true? It's that bad?
No, they're over it.
What about like Sunset Park though?
I mean, no, it got crazy. I never did the Brooklyn thing. I was here for like 13 years, and I always lived in the same neighborhood. And then kind of like a lot of my friends kind of scattered, and it was like all of a sudden it was like $4,000 a month for like a not that cool of an apartment. I was like, I don't know about this. Yeah. Like, I love New York, but you can also just come visit, and I don't know. Someday maybe I'll come back. It was at the time it just felt like crazy, and I don't know. I like, when you're young, I'm in my 50s now, so like
I hear
when you're young, like you got a lot of energy for everything, and I don't know. I felt like I wasn't taking advantage of the city that was like worth the price of admission, basically.
When you come back, what are the things you got to do?
What I like to do when I come back? Yeah. I mean, honestly, just like see my friends. Like there are, I still have like a good handful of like close friends that I really miss when I'm away, and my friends Greg and Raquel who are here tonight. They got like a beautiful little house on Fire Island. We go out there sometimes and like sit on the beach and cook stuff on the barbecue, and that's pretty fun. I like that.
What about like your favorite public radio station? Do you miss it when you're gone?
I'm like, all jokes aside, you re-gave me this bag, but
that's what we do. Is this the old one?
I've been carrying this bag.
Outstanding.
For the last like 2 years with all my harmonicas in it.
Oh, that's amazing.
To every show.
Wow.
And I got this by donating.
Whoa.
For the record, this was not a free gift. I donated. I picked this as my little treat.
Thanks for your support.
Supporter.
Yeah. You got any like, favorite shows? I can say what's up to whoever you want.
I mean, geez. I don't know. But there's so many.
There are a lot of shows. They'd probably give you a show if you asked. Do you want a show? You could just do this with your friends all the time.
I mean, you just gave me 3 new free tote bags, so I feel like I'm pretty like WNYC rich right now.
Okay. You're good for like until you're like at least 70.
Yeah.
Next week. These guys have been sitting here patiently. You want to do some more music?
Let's do it.
Okay, let's do that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sean. Salutations to whom it may concern. The litter box has overflowed, the frozen dinner burned. We're running low on wine, my man. Can you please swing by the store? My TV's just reality, and I can't watch no more. There's a shining diamond somewhere where a kid is striking out. His dad is in the dugout, foaming at the mouth. His stomach's turning sour inside of a disappointed scout who thought he found the real deal, but now he's got his doubt. So it's over before it began. I should have nursed you in the triage, I should have stuck you with some pins, but it's hopeless, 'cause this world makes no sense. First they say we can't be lovers, and now they say we can't be friends. No, no. Rumination, oh, this medicine don't work. Had that same thought 10,000 times, it's only getting worse. Swore off temptation, but what if it's what I really want to? Or how could I apologize for telling you the truth? There's a burnout light bulb above my head that has stolen my ideas. There's a yearbook on the bookshelf that can't explain the earth. Well, I never should have Sunday, but you know summer's coming soon. And when I almost drowned, you gave me mouth to mouth beside your neighbor's pool. It was over before it began. You could have left me in the water, but you made me live again. And I'm sorry that I can't pay you back. I wanna hold you till the world dissolves, but we just can't get attached. No! doing business here. Because you got it, you don't have to flaunt it with an endless stream of famous men, pretty as a portrait, look like Mamah Borthwick on that shining brow of Taliesin. Someone might try and burn it down, so you'll have to put the fire out. It's a fortune spent, but that's irrelevant to build something that's sacred till the end. It costs $20 to visit falling water. It's a perfect house where no one lives. Maybe someone once did, but they got evicted by a busload full of greedy tourists. It would take a time machine to fulfill all of my fantasies. A hidden dream that can be embarrassing, and the only thing that's sacred till the end. Every time I tempt fate, there's a major earthquake. Heard the people screaming as the ceiling fell. Every building damaged, there was only one left standing. It was Frank Lloyd Wright, Imperial Hotel. A rumination in my mind, winding like the ramp at the Guggenheim. I'm not there yet, but I'm feeling confident to build something that's sacred till the end. Thanks so much, y'all. Just gonna play a couple more. We're gonna try this old one for you. This is on the internet. It's important to tune. If you're gonna be on the internet, you should always be in tune. My dad told me that a long time ago. I remember I was just bouncing on his knee. He said, "Son, your mom and I are real proud of you. Just always be in tune if you're gonna be on the internet." I know that it is freezing, but I think we have to walk. Keep waving at the taxis, they keep turning their lights off. But Julie knows a party at some actor's West Side loft. Supplies are endless in the evening. By the morning they'll be gone. When everything is lonely, I can be my own best friend. I get a coffee and the paper, have my own conversation. With the sidewalk, the pigeons, my window reflection. Supplies are endless in the evening. By the morning they'll be gone. And I know you have a heavy heart. I can feel it when we kiss. So many men, stronger than me, thrown their backs out, trying to lift it. But me, I'm not a gamble. You can count on me to split. The love will sell you in the evening, by the morning won't exist. You're looking skinny like a model, with your eyes all painted black. You just keep going to the bathroom, say I'll be right back. Well, it takes one to know one, kid. I think you got it bad. But what's that easy in the evening? By the morning's gonna be such a drag. I got a flask inside my backpack, we can share it on the train. gotta promise to stay conscious. I'll try and do the same. If we die from medication, well, we sure killed all the pain. But what was normal in the evening, by the morning just seemed insane. And I'm not sure what the trouble was that started all of this. The reasons all have run away, but the feeling, it never did. It's not something I would recommend, but it is one way to live. 'Cause what is simple in the moonlight, by the morning never is. It felt so simple in the moonlight, now it's so complicated. It was so simple in the moonlight, so simple in the moonlight, so simple in the moonlight. Thanks so much, y'all. Just gonna play this last song. Thanks to Sean. Thanks to Studio 360. Thanks for coming out. My boy Greg Farley on the fiddle over there. It's your boy James Felice on the squeeze box. That's some kind of new iPad or something. Yeah, it's like an iPad sampler or something.
It's a big sampler.
It's a big iPad. It's great though. Dub.
Oh, yeah.
I don't usually play that part. Alright, 1, 2. We started drinking the Kool-Aid. We were taking the bait. We were talking the big talk, never playing it safe. Looking good as Jane Fonda on that Viacom tank. You can't get something for nothing, honey. Gotta energize your base. But she was young enough, she was blonde enough, she was about a perfect 10. Had millions of admirers, but not one single friend. It's a little uncanny though, what she managed to do. Became a symbol for a pain she never knew. Woo! You know old Ronnie Reagan, he was a shoe salesman's son. He got himself in the movies, woo! He impressed everyone. He thought trial by fire was America's fate. He made a joke of the poor people, and that made him a saint. But he was tan enough, he was rich enough, he was handsome like John Wayne. There was no one at your country club who didn't feel the same. It's a little uncanny though, what he managed to do. Got me to read those Russian authors through and through. That's true. Woo. I miss Christopher Hitchens, I miss Oliver Sacks, I miss Paul Robin Williams, man, I miss Sylvia Plath. Every morning's a desert now, every night is a flood. They say a party's gonna kill me, well sometimes I wish it would. But I'll get strong enough, I'll be man enough to keep myself in check. Cause all my friends who flew to town said that's what they expect. It's a little uncanny though, what they managed to do. Made me admit to shit they knew just wasn't true. Woo! Thank you so much.